Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. Cry the Beloved Country is a poignant novel set in South Africa that explores themes of racial injustice, social breakdown, and the enduring power of compassion and forgiveness. The story follows Reverend Stephen Khumalo as he travels from his rural village of Ndotsheni to the bustling city of Johannesburg in search of his missing son, Absalom. Through Khumalo's journey, Paton sheds light on the social and economic disparities affecting Black South Africans and the deep divisions within the country. The novel is a powerful commentary on the human condition and the possibility of redemption and reconciliation. Let's deep dive into the book. Stephen Khumalo's journey to Johannesburg. The novel begins in the small village of Ndotsheni, where Reverend Stephen Khumalo receives a letter informing him that his sister, Gertrude, is ill in Johannesburg. Khumalo, a humble and devout Anglican priest, decides to travel to the city to help her. Once in Johannesburg, he discovers that Gertrude has fallen into a life of poverty and vice. Khumalo's journey becomes a broader search for his estranged family members, including his son, Absalom. The disappearance of Absalom Khumalo. As Khumalo navigates the complexities of Johannesburg, he learns that his son, Absalom, has gone missing. With the help of Mzimangu, a compassionate priest, Khumalo delves into the underbelly of the city. He discovers the harsh realities faced by Black South Africans, including crime, poverty, and systemic racism. Khumalo's search for Absalom reveals the broader social issues plaguing the nation. The tragic crime. Khumalo's worst fears are realized when he discovers that Absalom has been arrested for the murder of Arthur Jarvis, a prominent white advocate for racial justice. Absalom confesses to the crime, stating that it was an accidental killing during a botched robbery. The tragedy of Arthur Jarvis's death underscores the senseless violence and social decay resulting from apartheid. The trial and sentencing. Absalom's trial becomes a focal point for the novel's exploration of justice and morality. Despite his confession and remorse, Absalom is found guilty and sentenced to death. The trial highlights the racial inequalities within the legal system and the broader societal injustices. Khumalo is devastated by the verdict, but finds solace in his faith and the support of his friends. James Jarvis's transformation. Arthur Jarvis's father, James Jarvis, initially harbors anger and grief over his son's death. However, as he reads his son's writings and learns about his commitment to social justice, James undergoes a profound transformation. He comes to understand the systemic issues that contributed to his son's death and begins to empathize with the plight of Black South Africans. James's journey reflects the possibility of personal growth and societal change. Reconciliation and hope. In the aftermath of the trial, Khumalo and James Jarvis form an unlikely bond. Both men, united by their shared grief and loss, begin to work towards the betterment of Ndotsheni. James Jarvis provides financial and material support to improve the village's infrastructure and agricultural practices. Their collaboration symbolizes the potential for reconciliation and healing in a divided society. The restoration of Ndotsheni. Back in Ndotsheni, Khumalo focuses on rebuilding his community. With the help of James Jarvis and the guidance of his faith, Khumalo works to address the challenges facing his village. The restoration of Ndotsheni serves as a metaphor for the broader hope for South Africa's future. The novel ends on a note of cautious optimism, suggesting that change is possible through compassion and cooperation. The enduring message of compassion. Throughout Cry the Beloved Country, Paton emphasizes the importance of compassion and understanding. The novel's characters, particularly Khumalo and James Jarvis, demonstrate that personal and societal transformation is possible through empathy and active efforts to address injustice. The enduring message of the novel is one of hope and the potential for redemption and reconciliation in the face of deep-seated divisions. Legacy of Cry the Beloved Country. Cry, the Beloved Country remains a seminal work in South African literature and a powerful critique of apartheid. Alan Paton's lyrical prose and deeply human characters continue to resonate with readers worldwide. The novel's exploration of social injustice, racial inequality, and the enduring power of forgiveness and compassion make it a timeless and essential read. Its legacy endures as a testament to the human spirit and the possibility of change. Let's meet together the main characters of the book. Stephen Khumalo is the novel's protagonist, an elderly Anglican priest from the rural village of Ndotsheni. His journey to Johannesburg in search of his missing son, Absalom, leads him to confront the harsh realities of urban life and racial injustice. Khumalo's character embodies compassion, resilience, and faith. Despite the personal and societal challenges he faces, Khumalo remains committed to his family, his community, and his moral principles. Absalom Khumalo is Stephen Khumalo's son, who becomes entangled in crime and ultimately commits murder. His character highlights the struggles of young Black South Africans who migrate to the cities in search of opportunities, but often encounter exploitation and degradation. Absalom's remorse and the consequences of his actions underscore the novel's themes of guilt, redemption, and the impact of systemic injustice. James Jarvis is a wealthy white landowner and the father of Arthur Jarvis, who is murdered by Absalom. Initially grieving and angry, James undergoes a profound transformation as he learns about his son's commitment to social justice. His growing empathy and efforts to help the Black community of Ndotsheni illustrate the potential for personal and societal change through understanding and compassion. Arthur Jarvis is a passionate advocate for racial equality and social justice, whose murder becomes a catalyst for the events of the novel. Through his writings and the memories of those who knew him, Arthur's character represents the moral conscience of the novel. His dedication to addressing the injustices faced by Black South Africans inspires both his father, James Jarvis, and Stephen Khumalo. Missy Mangu is a young priest in Johannesburg who assists Stephen Khumalo in his search for Absalom. He is compassionate, insightful, and deeply concerned about the social issues affecting Black South Africans. Missy Mangu's guidance and support are crucial to Khumalo's journey. His character embodies hope and the possibility of finding solutions to the problems facing their society. Gertrude Khumalo is Stephen Khumalo's sister, who has fallen into a life of poverty and vice in Johannesburg. Her character highlights the vulnerability of Black women in urban environments and the destructive impact of systemic inequality. Gertrude's struggles and eventual decision to return to Ndotsheni reflect the novel's themes of redemption and the importance of family and community. John Khumalo is Stephen Khumalo's brother, a successful businessman and political activist in Johannesburg. Unlike Stephen, John is more cynical and self-serving, using his influence for personal gain rather than social justice. His character contrasts with Stephen's moral integrity and highlights the different responses to the challenges faced by Black South Africans. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Racial injustice and inequality. A central theme of Cry, the Beloved Country is the pervasive racial injustice and inequality in South Africa. Paton vividly depicts the systemic oppression faced by Black South Africans, highlighting the disparities in wealth, opportunity, and treatment under the law. The novel critiques the social and economic structures that perpetuate these injustices and calls for empathy and reform. The power of compassion and forgiveness. The novel emphasizes the transformative power of compassion and forgiveness. Through the characters of Stephen Khumalo and James Jarvis, Paton illustrates how understanding and empathy can lead to personal growth and societal change. Their journey towards reconciliation and mutual support demonstrates that healing is possible even in the face of deep-seated prejudice and division. The struggle for social justice. Cry, the Beloved Country explores the struggle for social justice in a deeply divided society. Arthur Jarvis's work as an advocate for racial equality and his tragic death underscore the urgent need for change. The novel portrays the efforts of individuals and communities to address systemic injustices and create a more equitable society. The impact of urbanization and industrialization. Paton highlights the impact of urbanization and industrialization on South African society, particularly on rural communities. The migration of Black South Africans to cities in search of work and the resulting social disintegration are central to the narrative. The novel critiques the economic forces that disrupt traditional ways of life and contribute to social instability. Faith and redemption. Faith and redemption are recurring motifs in the novel. Stephen Khumalo's deep religious faith guides him through his personal trials and inspires his efforts to rebuild his community. The theme of redemption is also evident in James Jarvis's transformation and his commitment to honoring his son's legacy by supporting social justice initiatives. The novel suggests that faith and moral integrity can provide a foundation for personal and societal renewal. Let's talk about the author. Alan Paton was a South African author and anti-apartheid activist born on January 11, 1903, in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. He is best known for his seminal novel Cry the Beloved Country, published in 1948, which brought international attention to the injustices of apartheid. Paton's writing is characterized by its lyrical prose, deep empathy, and moral conviction. In addition to his literary work, Paton was actively involved in political efforts to end apartheid and promote social justice in South Africa. He died on April 12, 1988, leaving a lasting legacy as a writer and advocate for human rights. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to hit the subscribe button, like or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.